Thank you so much for inviting me a couple of weeks ago to be with you. This is Connie Nieto. Here's a raw recording of the class I gave when I was with you. Hope to see you again real soon. Take care. A way that you can decipher if an area or a building has movement. Because before you start to plan or start to prospect and farm, you really need to see if there's been activity. And since there's been so much activity in the last couple of years, if you look at an area and there's hardly any activity, it's indicative that it would be kind of hard to break the market. So if you look at an area and there's movement, you say, okay, so people continuously work here. Maybe I can find a niche or something that I can work at. So I was going to see how we do it. Carla, would you be interested in seeing the report? Who else is with us on Zoom? Oh, there's several of you. I see Francisco joined through there. Frank joined through there too, Natalie. I'm recording the session too. I just wanted to give a little tidbit first and then show you how you could prospect to see if an area is interesting. Alrighty, so I give 5 more minutes, I guess. Yeah. And we'll start, or whenever Frank says.
That's what I was about to do, and just go around the island.
You need to analyze first if there's movement, what the activity is, what are the sale prices, what's the price point, what is there condo versus etc. Do people rent? Because that helps you to realize how to project yourself and market. So I always like to start showing a little tip, and we'll show you that. I know that you're here in 33141, right? This is the zip code here.
Yeah, 33141. 40.
Oh, we'll do a little bit of 41 just to get a peek to see what's happening. And then I'll show you guys how you can isolate information. And then from there, we'll go into Remine and we'll peek at how you can prospect and farm. See, but it has to be interesting, like to engage you. Because if you learn at least one thing or you take something with you, then it was worth it. Because I know you're also investing time. Yo entiendo. At 9:30, I was at the corner. I was selling Frank at the Speedway, and I called him, and I go, "Where's the office?" And I go, "Good morning. How are you?" And I go, "Where's the office located?" Because I turned in, and it was funny. It was a lady outside, like by a door, and I was like, I don't think I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like the address didn't coincide, but that's where Waze took me. And he goes, "No, just come further, come further."
Oh,
So I was like a block and a half away, but I didn't know. And he goes, "Pass the Benihana, pass in front of the Benihana." When I got here and I saw the size of the sign, I go, "Ay, Dios mío, right away." Hi, how are you? I'm Connie. Hi, Isa, nice to meet you. For those of you on Zoom, thank you for being patient and waiting. I think we're gonna start in a couple minutes. I don't know if he would. It's Friday. I can't believe that we're in March. It's Friday.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still feel like it's January. Like, I mean, but it's March.
Yeah, city. Like goes really fast.
Yes. I don't know if Frank wants to give it a couple more minutes or.
I think we stepped out.
He stepped out to get a computer.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a nice group in the chat, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I know you're busy, and I have a couple of you here, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start by telling you. My name is Connie Nieto. I'm one of 3 Miami trainers. Our group has Christy, Tyson, and myself. I am the oldest in age. I am the youngest in the real estate world. Good morning. You don't have to sit next to me, but I promise I showered this morning. Christy brings to us information to our group. We work very jointly and in a very cohesive format. She administered a broker offices and had been a realtor herself. Tyson is an MLS expert. He's been working in that MLS team for 8 years, so he knows the nuances of listings and stuff. And then I have worked many things in my many decades on the planet, and this is actually something very interesting I'm very passionate about. So I hope I relay that info. If you want my contact details, I can share it later, etc. But we're gonna start here, right? And of course, log into the Miami Gateway. And one of the things that I was talking about was you come into the system, right? And I want to give you a little tip with Matrix. Matrix is our primary tool. It's where we look and search for stuff. It's where we may want to find information, right? So before I delve into Remine and start giving you tips on how you can prospect and farm and use that tool, I want you to know, number one, that most of our classes are recorded and available on YouTube. So part of what I will be showing you on Remine, you can actually go and review it. I am recording today, so I will try to get it as soon as possible to frame. It'll be a link just for your office from our YouTube channel, so you guys can revisit what we do. I'm starting off in Matrix because most of us become experts at using this. But what I wanted to show you guys, and I promised myself one of the things we're going to promote better this year, is the realtor really needs to know an area first, right? You don't just jump into stuff. You got to do a little bit of research. And because of the activity and the movement there's been in the last couple of years, you can use Matrix to gauge if an area moves or not, if there's rentals or not, if there's investment or not, yes or no. Very interesting enough, I had someone call me, and some of you may like data. Someone called me about 2 weeks ago and said, I want to know if someone's purchasing homes in this area and if they're flipping. Can you help me do that? I'm in the middle of a class, like in lunch break, and you're like, I always need a minute. Do you guys need a minute, or you guys are quick? I need a minute to like digest what the person says. So he was like, no, I want to go to IMAP. Why are you going to all of these external things and trying to create this massive spreadsheet when Matrix has realtor activity in it? In IMAP, I'm only going to see the last sale. I'm not going to see every subsequent sale. So what I'm going to do here is show you guys a search cross property quick. I'm going to show you the details, okay? I want you to be open-minded on what you can do. Now, remember, I'm not a practicing realtor. So if I see functionality in it, maybe you'll see more to it. Now, cross property quick, what it does is a search of all the other search types together. And I want to talk to you about the fact that if there is commercial activity, then people need to live close to where the activity for commercial is. And if there's residential activity, you need commercial activity because people need goods, places to get services, right? You got to go do your hair, right? You got to get your stuff done. You got to get moving, right? So those things go hand in hand. So when you do a cross property, you get a view of everything that's happening in a multiple listing service. And this is not a commonly nor widely used report. So when you work in an area, 33141 is where we're at. So I'm going to do that first. And then if one of you wants to review a building, we could do a building, or I can use one that I know off the top of my head. But I want you to see this as a potential tool to gauge what activity there is in an area without having to do this huge review of data. Something that's quick for you. So you click here to quick, all right? And what I'm going to do is select active, closed, and rented, right? And that's the last 6 months. You can expand it to a year. You can do the time frame that you like. And what we're doing is a review of an area before we delve into Remine and show how they can prospect. So this is 33141, right? And there is 2016 one items that show up. So I come into my results, right?
It's 5,000.
Oh, I don't know. I'm connected. Do you?
Connie, we have you on our Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me stop my screen mirroring. And let's start again.
So if you want to, you plug you in direct with the HDMI if that helps there anyway.
Oh, we'll see if it does it again. Okay. What I wanted you to see here, let me go to the criteria again. All I did was active, closed, rented, the zip code. This is massive, by the way, because the zip code is big. But if I want to gauge if there's activity in an area, I will come to results here, and I want you to see, yeah, no, I'm there.
Oh.
Rentals, commercial lease, right? Residential land, rental. And if I put 100, so can you imagine sitting here and starting to look at the data and trying to decipher stuff? I want you to work smart, not hard. So you never select here, because then you would just be selecting the ones, yeah, it stopped.
Yeah.
Let's try to connect with the HDMI. For those of you on Zoom, bear with me a second. They have, you have a special screen view. Eso, vamos aquí. Let's see. Don't walk too far in case I need you again. Do we need to switch the remote
Yep.
to, and is it Samsung?
Yep.
So. All right. Don't you love technology?
No.
I thank you for your frankness because I teach it and I always wonder, like, is it really helpful? Or are they playing a joke on me? Because sometimes I feel like it's always playing a joke on me.
Yeah.
Really? All right. Alrighty, so what I was showing you guys is that when you're here, and this is just something, no, when you're here and you're collecting data, if you click on this area, you're not getting the 2000. You got to click the all, and that'll give it to you. That's one of those things where it's just like, really? But it's right there.
Right there,
Yeah, right, but if you don't see it, then you don't know. So then you think you have to go to every page, and this thing doesn't work, and how inconvenient, y qué bobería, like, we're not, hi, good morning, by the way. I hadn't seen you guys. Alrighty, so when you have this amount of data, you want it to talk to you. Do you see the print button? Am I in your way? Because I'll move. I could have sat here. All right, so I'm gonna click on print, and I'm gonna show you this thing. Though it says CMA, oh, it's too much. So we're gonna come back to results, and we're gonna isolate some stuff. It's all right. We're gonna work it so it tells us stuff. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna do, let's say, condo and residential rental. So there I don't have that much data. It's 1,800. Let's see if it'll do it then. Results, select all, print. CMA one-line summary report. So now we're just doing condos in the areas and rentals for that. All righty? So
Can you go back one step?
Sure.
And show us how, so you go all,
from here, I just want to be specific. Let me see something a second so I make sure. You can add whatever you want to the search. So what I did was criteria: active, closed, rented, condo, townhouse, villa, correct? Residential rental, because I want to see rentals and the condos. Ideally, I want to try that again. Let's see if it was just,
Only got 606.
yeah, hold on. Let's do here. You only got 606? Let me see again if this is going to let me do it. No, it won't. It doesn't, only wants to do a hot sheet. So what I did here in criteria was cross property quick, right? 180 days of information. And now I want condo and residential rental, right? I have 1,868 and I just have 6 month words. Active, closed, rented, and the zip code. Try it again. Because it's search, cross property quick. I want you to see it because if not, it's not worth it. When we come to results, select the all, and then here, print,
okay, and then from there it is.
CMA, and print a PDF. What this allows you to see is on a large scale, the type of activity there is, what kind of movement there is, etc. And you didn't do a whole bunch of work. It was 10 clicks. Right?
Yeah.
So just to look here, I have active properties and you see all the active properties in the area, right? And we're gonna, no, these are not the sold, these are active in the area. Now remember, we did a whole zip code.
But there's a sale price.
There's no sale price.
It wasn't the top.
Nope. That is the original price and then the listing price. There's an original price that could be listed at $1,500,000. And then they switch the price to $1,328,000, but that's not the sale price. The sale price goes here. There are 296 condos for sale in the area. They range from 135,000. I'm gonna go peek at that one. You always need to know your low, you need to know your high, and you need to know similar to what you're looking for, all the way to 5,000,007. The average, and here you see, this is the list price. And this is the original price and the list price. People list at a price and then they start. That's why you have those two numbers. So that is currently what's on the market. Next, You have the closed sales for the area. Now, what I want you to start thinking is how you would use this. And we're gonna do a building so you can see the activity, and we'll go to the map and move around. And then I'll show you how to prospect with Remine. But isn't this cool?
That's very cool.
There's 292 condos that have sold. They last an average of 64 days. They range from 130K to 4.5 million. And the price per square foot average in the area is $530. So if somebody comes and tells you, I'm looking to buy a home or a condo for 200,000, I would go, look, it might be difficult. I see a couple, but the median sale price in our area is 345K. Don't you sound professional?
Right.
I just did 10 clicks. Did you see the significance? So I always want you to do groundwork with the tool that you have. And with that, you prepare yourself. Who else is this good for? This is good for someone who's renting, for you to push them to do what? Okay, we're gonna run today. Fantastic. But I want to show you this so we get together and do a plan to do what? Buy. South Florida is a place of opportunity. I have lived here close to 5 decades. It's my home. I saw taking my mom and my dad and what they came from. So a lot of us have that in common. Do you come from somewhere else?
Yes.
Where are you first generation here? That is a common ground for us. So we all together need to move forward. This is a tool to move forward. I want you to move forward. I believe in doing good, and then it comes what? Right back. Maybe not to me, I got kids, right? But it'll come. So the next thing I want you to see, residential rentals in the area. I always get goosebumps when I show this, and I feel like you guys like it. So I'm a mom. And by the way, if you make it and you succeed and you ever tag me, you'll have the greatest cheerleader on the planet. Because I feel that every one of you guys, when you do well, it's like, oh, they came to my class. Excuse me, that's my realtor. So 401 listings for rent in the area, from $1,500 to $100K, 90 days currently in the market, right? And then rented in the last 6 months. Okay, so I didn't want to come and give you a prospecting or farming or a Remine class without giving you a little tidbit more. Look at all this rent. Do not tell me there's not rentals in the area, because I'm like, look at how deep in we are. 879 rentals, right? Lasting an average of 44 days on market, from $800, which is probably like 10 square feet, right? Right? To a median price of $2,500, which is below county average. County average is at
That's a great
3K.
place to rent. We'll talk to folks in the area.
Bueno, and if someone questions you, you go, here it is. Of course, there's a huge rental of 83K. That might be a short term. You do your math, but you have everything quick. All of the pages have your name, their date and time stamped. So if you share this with someone, they know that you were the realtor that was supplying it. Now, this was big picture. Do we want to isolate?
Yes.
Okay, alrighty, so do you guys have a building you want, or do I pick one?
So 7601 is the condo next door that has a lot of traffic in front of it.
Okay, so we're gonna do search, cross property quick, and don't leave because I need that number again.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and we're gonna look active, closed, and rented, and you told me it was,
01. Right.
I didn't spell that right. Right?
Mhm.
73 matches, so let's look at it here.
Just one building.
Yeah, oh, you can do several, two. If you're working with a cloister of buildings, like,
What?
okay, can I leave now?
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. I'll call you. Julie's likes me. I'm going home.
Separately, like it's separate?
No,
Okay.
but here's what happens. When you have an area, there's a cloister of buildings right here. They're all built the same. They were built the same year. They're all the same community. You should not do a CMA on those without doing the entire cloister. You should do that.
whole time.
Well, if the only thing you learned today is the click more, okay, fine.
It could be be very, so it doesn't have to be next to each other, obviously, right? You might have a client that's looking to rent here and. for
Or
also-
you could do whatever you want, and you could, this will not give you a separate report for each building,
Right.
but it will put it all together and it gives the address as a column. The reason that I really like that report is that the line item provides you square footage, location, beds and baths, price per square footage, original list price, or price on the MLS, sold price when it's sold or rented, and then the days on the market. So at online item level, you could go to the person and go, listen, if you want to rent this and you want to put it astronomically high, or you're going to try to sell this and you're going to put it way off market price, look how long it's going to sit. And you have proof in something that's happened. So it's great for a listing presentation. I teach this, that you do your CMA to go to your listing presentation. You go to listing presentation with your listing agreement doc on hand, and you go with an input form, but you need a study. Because if you get to a place and you don't know what's going on, see, the CMA gives you granular info, apples to apples. But if you get there and you don't know what's selling the highest, and you don't know what's selling lowest, and you don't know what's happening in the zone, and you don't have an argument to say, this is not in the same building, this is not in the same subdivision, this one sold for more because the lot size is twice the size, then you lose the deal.
Right.
So there's ground, and the market's changed enough where I think this kind of thing will help you present. The other thing is that it's easy to read. So whether you're a novice and you've been in it 2 days, or you've been in the industry for 15, it's something that you can relay because it's easy to read. Does that make sense?
Yeah, your
Yes.
eyes.
And by the way, you're educating the person too. So it cannot be all this line graph lingo, because the other person may not understand all of that. This is a line item. So to me, it's you being relatable, quitting the real estate lingo and talking the consumer language, right?
Right.
Which is price per square foot. I like this place. And why doesn't mine sell like the one in the corner that's twice the lot? And then you got to take pictures with you. So that's what I wanted you to have something. I hope this helps. All right. So we're going to switch these to 365, and then I'll go to Remine in a second, and come to results. And then again, here, it's not that much. So I can do an all, right? I can do, I can even organize by property type if I want. All property type was what I hit, right? Print. And then we'll run our magic here. We'll look at at this property. And this one has something extra. Because it's not that many, it's not over 200, you can select the 3-up comparison, which you'll see. It's another gift. It's not a gift. This is your system. You join the association for access to what? I teach new member orientation, and I always tease the new members and I say, how many MLS classes have you taken? And you join for, there's 6 of them. You give them every month in English and in Spanish. There are recordings of them, and you pay to have access to, and you haven't taken a class. I'm just saying, you're paying. Thank you. I work there. Cool. And they look at me like, lady. Commercial industrial, probably the building has a couple of commercial spots on the bottom. There's 2. There's 1 closed here. Do you need to know that? Yeah. Without knowing anything, I know there's retail space there. Yes or no? On that same building, currently active, 16 listings, right? From 344K to 579,000. I don't know anything about the building. Don't I sound like I know everything?
Yeah.
Right. Closed. 60 in the last year, lasting 125 days. And I'm gonna look at these with a large number. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about, the granular level. Listing number, address with a condo unit number. This is the subdivision, area, beds, bath, square footage, year built, price per square foot, original list price, sold price at 93% of list price on the day it sold. Did you work hard or smart?
Smart.
Right. So now 125 days, and you got to look at those ones that lasted long, and you will go back into the MLS and do what? See the pictures. Was it because it wasn't refurbished? Is something going on? You'll peek, you'll see. And then you have a couple land boats and docks active, rentals, 10 are active currently, right? Oh, no, yeah. 10 from 2,300 to 3,300, which is still right on county numbers for rental. So it is inexpensive, probably very pretty or well
And just
located.
to get a reference on that, the county average for rental is correct, no, $30,000. That's a very easy number to remember.
Well, it was 2009, 2001, 2009, 50. So 3K is the number, and you have this reference here. Now, I don't know where it's located, but not a bad price, and I'm sure it's close to the beach. 53 rented in the last year in the multiple listing service. Do all rentals occur in the MLS? No, that's a lot of activity for a building. 32 days on market, rented at 97% of the rental price, from 2,300 to 38,000. I mean, $3,800. Did you do a lot? Now you have something to present to someone who wants to rent, to someone who wants to invest. What a great location if they allow rentals, right? So you want to invest, this might be a place there is movement. People want to live here. And then for the investor, right? You could say return on investment. You could see it on the top, or don't, and continue to do what? Rent the property. For someone who's seeking to sell, you can say, okay, here's your option. These are the sell prices. And if you wanted to rent with me, we could do it as well. So for anybody, you should show this, right? This is your homework. Cross property, quick, CMA. Now the extra is this. That's the 3-up comparison, where you have side-by-side detailing on each one of the lists.
Each
Okay.
one of the listings?
And the 3-up criteria, how it decides what 3 to put together, it's just. whatever
No,
comes
the
up,
order.
whatever it wants.
So what I did here for our purposes is I organized it by property type before doing the report. So you would get all your sales and rentals together. So they're not in all
So
kinds of
maybe
wicked order.
Apple, to apple, one's more ripe, one's less ripe, for apples.
But do you like clean, crisp, ready for you to go? All right, that was the extra. Now we're gonna go to Remine. But you saw,
This is you.
it's easy to do.
So this last example that we gave, just for all of us, we're getting these constant calls of folks that want to buy the Airbnb properties, knowing that the Airbnb restrictions are so tight, it's so hard to find the buildings. Knowing that, look, let me at least give you a case scenario on why maybe we can do something other than just Airbnb, which is where you can have your head stuck on, right? This could be a great investment tool for them as well. And if we find a building like this, we're seeing that heightened level of activity. We just happen to know in the office that's an active building because we process a lot of stuff there. But as you're doing your case studies in an area, well, you know what, of these 6 buildings, here's the one that has the most activity. This is where my client wants to invest. Let's talk more about this building, right? And you got a great backup for it. All the stuff that she's printing to PDF, it's got great, critical, easy to understand info. Obviously, there's no listing agent information on there, right? So feel comfortable printing it. It's got your branding on there and sending it out. Osama and I are working with the gentleman in Kapil that we met through Zillow, who's like a quant, right? Finance guy. So all like want to run numbers and charts and graphs and whatever. I know that for Osama, as he's seeing this and we're going through it, great information for him because he's looking on Collins. It's about 2 blocks, 12 buildings, and he thinks he knows everything. We're going to hit him over the head with like, here's what's really going on. Let's help you make a decision. So yeah, very, very useful information.
And then what I like about this is that whether it's someone at that level or someone who's looking to get started with their first home, it's either you can use it for anyone. And it's also easy for you to relay the info. Does that make sense? Because that's what's hard. Sometimes you get these reports and this data and it's like, you look at it and you go, what is this showing me? Didn't that happen to you? So this way, what you're relating is actually something that you're very comfortable with. 80%, 90% of that presentation is you knowing and understanding what you're giving. All right, I'm glad that you liked it. Okay, I'll quit.
Thank you.
Read
Thank you so much. We can go into more detail, right? Like if you want to make it like only the 1 bedrooms.
Of course.
Right?
I just gave you the cream on the top, and now you can do bedrooms, you can do square footage. Listen, that person that called me that wanted to know the flips, what you could do there is RE1, RE2, and select an area, like draw on the map, and go back 720 days, and you'll see if the address is twice, and then you could export what you have here to Excel, right? And have it, right, dedupe, which is show you the duplicates in Excel. And you'll know if an area is having movement within the MLS. There's a lot to do. I just feed you the tidbit because the info's there. And that was what this tool was: search, cross property, quick.
Love it.
Okay.
For the flipper side, because I'm actually meeting with a client this afternoon.
Okay, let's get through Remine, which is why I came. Because I come on, it was just a tidbit. I just wanted you to get excited.
But I'm
Now-
on that one.
Well, you might have to buy me lunch. Just teasing. Here we are at Remine. Remine, you come from the gateway, right? And it is right here. It's the blue icon. This is Matrix. This is Remine. I want to give you some background on Remine just for you to understand the association in conjunction with, I believe it's 4 other associations purchased Remine. The idea is to have a place where the data belongs to the association who holds the data for you. Long term, I'm sure they have a plan for it. How we like Remine is that it's a great prospecting and farming tool. People that do well in the industry know their area, yes or no? Historically, in the US, someone that does well works 3 to 5 miles from their home, 3 to 5 miles from work, because you know everything. You know where to go to lunch, you know where to get food, you know the cleaners, you know where to get fast Chinese, good Chinese, yeah, right? You know if there's an adult daycare. Right, but you know where to get it. Where to get sushi, what's happening on Thursday night, where do you go hang out? Are there parks? Is there a bikeway, right? What kind of access do you have to the location? You know it all because it's where you are at. Where do you get milk at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? You know, when everybody else is rushing to the supermarket, there's always a place. So you know about the conveniences, the good and the bad in an area. So when you go to farm, you can use a tool like this one. Number one, the main page here allows you to switch info to your area. You can see market pulses, right? So information that's happening, let's say by zip code. These are what they're called, their cards. You have a market pulse for the entire MLS, right? And then you could come into the gear here and duplicate. And when you duplicate, let's come to the top. I'm going to come here and switch to all. And you can put it, the zip code you're interested in. Now, these aren't clickable, but this is a great tool. I'm going to go this week into a soiree. I'm going to say that I'm a realtor and I need to know off the tip of my tongue, you know, a couple of facts about that area. Yes or no? Well, here you have what's happening in 33141. You have number of actives, average valuation estimate, and absorption rate. So, hi, I'm a realtor. How's this area doing? It may not be your area. So you could have easily popped in here, take some statistics with you, some stuff to talk about, and then say, listen, if you want more details, we can get in touch during the week. But you don't go anywhere without having something to discuss, correct? Like that tidbit that I just gave you, 3K is the average rental price in Miami-Dade, and it's almost the same in Broward. So if someone asks you, hey, are rentals okay in the area? And I go, well, you know, average rental price is 3K. What area are you looking for? Let me get you more details. But you already have something to say. You go ready, set. And by the way, you say that you're a realtor everywhere you go, correct? So you never take off your realtor hat. So you need to have this kind of data with, right? So that's one of the things that you could do here on Remine. Your listings, if you have listings, you can see that I lack any, because I'm not a realtor, but your listings would show here and would also give you information. You can also add properties that you want to monitor and search for, and then you would get property notifications. What does that mean? You can add properties to carts, and then the system will tell you if there's been any changes, any type of changes in deed, if it's active, if it's closed. You'll see the information here.
We've been typically doing that by sending ourselves auto emails and just loading up our inboxes.
Well, but that's for an auto email for activity in the MLS. But what happens if you're looking at an area to see if there was a change from an owner or not? And so it tells you that kind of stuff. Right?
Awesome.
Alrighty. Sorry, I need a sip. There's this, every system that you ever open that's third party, including Matrix, you have to personalize and make your own. So you do that on the lower left-hand side here where it says your name, and you come into the settings. Now, I'm sure you guys are great at this. You will pop up your picture, put in your info by editing, right? Scroll down. You have a Moody's upgrade if you'd like to. You do have access to Remine Pro, which is about $1,500 a year. You have that for free for being a Miami member. The Moody's is additional. It's an analytics that's available for commercial if you're interested. You have a display page that you can create. You would edit up here and put in your details and contact info. And you also have a social profile. Now, some people tell me, do I really want another social profile? Always remember that if you have these things for free and they're out there and they say your name, they help you with search engine optimization. So it's free. So what you would do in here is make sure you would create it, right? And then you can copy it. I always like to share with you guys what it looks like or what you can make yours look like. It's a landing page like this, all about you, where they can come and explore or ask you details with your social media sites and your connections. So to me, it's one more spot that you got on that World Wide Web. All right. Coming back here into Remine. You can add a background photo if you like, or use a photo here. So you can have your logo in the photo, a welcome message. Do any of you speak another language?
Yes.
Oh,
You do? Very important. Most of our items in South Florida are translated into Creole, Spanish, and English. So whenever you have a social site or any site that you have or a bio that you write about your business, you should at least do a one-liner or at least a phrase in that language or languages that you speak. Remember that the eye is not the one that reads, it's the brain and the mother tongue. If on a whole page, I originally spoke Spanish first. My mom is from Chile, my dad is Cuban, or was Cuban, I'm sorry. And in any space that you see, right? If they would put hola or hello or something, aloha, the word that you know first, you see it first, and then you read. So use that to your advantage in all of your marketing. If you speak another language, you specify. That's why you see in those highway signs, you know, all this info, and on a corner, hablamos español. It's on purpose because your eye goes there first and then you read the sign. It's to catch your brain. So use that in your advantage. And that's why I have, you know, my welcome and a little message. You never know. And that might get someone to ask you a question. They may be able to relate to you. Make sense? So you could, I'm showing you that here, but you can do it wherever. You can add all of your social media, right? Links. And one of the things I like to take from here is that if you're a WhatsApp user, we don't always know what our WhatsApp is. And it's actually this, and then your phone number. So you can have that be a part of what you do. You can take a picture of that. I think that's great. For those in the chat, I'll send it to them.
And WhatsApp security has been a concern recently.
Mhm.
I encourage you guys to turn on that two-factor authentication, do that.
Yes.
You'll feel a lot more comfortable just putting your WhatsApp out there knowing that it's secure.
Okay. I'm not a Snapchat user, but I know that a lot of some people are. You could put that in there as well, and your Google Map location. So if this is your office location, go to Google Maps, put the address here, click on the info, and you can add it into a place and they will know where you're at. All right. Never give your personal location information, please. That's a no-no. You save it and you've done your profile here. I encourage you to do your profile because you can create reports and more in the system. So when you do, your picture will pop up, etc. Now to the nitty-gritty, we're going to come to the search. Now, you can use this as a listing search. It has all the MLS data for Miami-Dade, but what we're here for is for property info. So you do a switch over, and when you're in the property area, you'll get these items that pop up on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and come into 33141, right? Just type it on the top, and I'm going to click on the map, and it'll bring me to an area. Okay? And I'm going to scroll in, and you see the blue dot. Those are amounts of properties that are available. Okay? I'm going to come in and go granular and until we find the parcels. When you find parcel information, I had the pleasure. How many years have you guys been in the industry?
So the office, 19.
Okay, wow. I met a lady that was in the industry for 40 plus years, and she had in her office space plat maps. I don't know if you've ever had plats. And she had on those plat maps, she would put divorced, married, purchased a home. She knew everything. In her walking distance, she would walk 3 miles. She would go one day this way, one day the other way. She knew everything. When I showed her this, she goes, "You've just killed what I worked on for 40 years. And I go, "I didn't do anything. I'm just showing you that it's now digital." And she goes, "You don't need to show this to everybody, do you?" And she was cute. She was fun. I want you to know that you have, so I just picked on an area, right? I want you to first see, of course you could cart, so I could select all of these and put them in a cart if I wanted to monitor them. But you can come in and without doing much, just the area of your interest, you could click and see property values. I could even select and isolate and let's just say I want everything that's over $1 million in an area and apply, and I would just keep the properties that are over $1 million. But I want to show you again, I'm going to remove that. All I did was hover over this thing, right? Click on property, and I could see the value of properties in the area. Okay. Now you decide what you could do with that, but I wanted you to see it. I could come in and look at home equity.
Just want to take a pause here for all of us that are wanting to cold call. Hey, are you ready to list? Are you interested in knowing what your property's worth, right? That gauge on somebody actually having some money to be made by listing the property. This is, and especially for Ron was making all our calls, one thing I wanted you guys to kind of pay attention to. That's a critical tool.
I'll just pick on this property just to isolate it because I'm here. I select it and you see that the blue bar brings it up top. There is a low sale possibility. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It gives you the address, estimated valuation, estimated equity. And I haven't really done anything but click over the property. Now I'm going to click on the address. Okay. And that'll bring me to a street view, or if there was the listing had been in the MLS, I would get MLS photos. I can see the equity on the property, how many years it's been owned, who it's owned by, right? Beds, bath, square footage, year built, public record information, right? Parcel, flood risk, location, street view, right? Key statistics, if it's occupied or not. So if the owner lives in the property. So all your tax details are here. And I just want you guys to see it. And all I did was click on the address. All right. Tax assessment, assessed value, market value, property history information, interfamily transfer and dissolution. Right? You can see the info, deed change, or etc. Mortgage history.
Huge.
I just click on a school info, valuation, sources of the valuation, right? Air DNA, if it was possible to do. You got to click and learn more about this, but I wanted you to see the estimates. Okay. Air DNA is a gauge of what potentially someone could rent through Airbnb or any of those vacation rentals. By the way, realtors have been doing short-term a lot longer than Airbnb existed. That's why there are short-term rentals in the, and remember that Airbnb is like a brand. It's like calling paper towel bounty, right? So, just letting you know that that's why this is called Air DNA, and there's a click more button for you to be able to go to another page, which helps you see about calculating for vacation rental. All right.
Where we've been doing it manually, going to the MLS, looking at rental rates, guesstimating.
I'm so mad.
Okay. Do you like this product?
Love it.
Really?
Love it.
So have I shown you
That's your
anything?
presentation more than
No, no, no,
anything.
no, no.
Yeah, a lot of.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. When I came in, one of the first things I asked, like, can I talk to them about something else? I needed to share that matrix stuff with you because the industry is changing so much that for you to succeed, you got to talk the talk and walk the walk. And if you think the consumer doesn't know, the consumer knows. So that report that I showed you first is for you to never go to presentation without having what you need. The basics, like you show what's there. And you'll know what you need to take and not. But you got to know about an area before you make any type of decisions. I don't know how many of you are new or seasoned or whatever, but for the seasoned folks, I'm sure you know. But if you're new, you got to be aware. And that's a great, easy way. You already paid your dues. You can use MLS, right? All righty. Demographics on the area. 66% college graduated, 1% have children, 2 people average household, average income, average age. So they're young, according to the instructor. Owners associated. Contact details. Do not call, and an email address.
Can you give us a 10-second on the do not call list and how important it is to not call?
I'm gonna bring the Hispanic mother out. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not encounter. Do not try to do it. Do not try to say, oh, no. Just do not do it. If they are on a do not call list, it's because they are not interested in having any type of solicitor reach out. Don't get in trouble for something that is not worth it.
And then
Now,
texting those numbers?
No.
Do not contact. That's probably the best. way
it's
to
do
do
not
it, right?
contact. And the other thing I want you to know, there is no association here that I know of, right? So you'd probably get more about doing door knocking with this than anything else. Are you gonna get resistance? Yes, the person's lived there 20+ years, they have roots. Do you stop by once? No, you start to walk down the street and you learn the area. I'm a firm believer that if you live in a community, you need to know the schedule of the community. You know what I mean by that? You live in a building, you know, and you can't go on the elevator. Well, you need to be on the lobby 15 minutes before elevator rush, because they need to see you. You have a pet, you walk a dog, you do exercise, you go. You need to know your schedule. You're in an area where there's a lot of children, what do you need to know? When school's in, everything changes everywhere, right? So you need to know where the bus stops are, right? You need to walk around, you need to know about the soccer moms, but who does that? You do. You're supposed to be a keen observer of your area. You need to know every leaf that falls, every time the waves go up, all of it. You have to know. What this helps you do is find some info that maybe wasn't as easy to find before. It's here. Nice thing about this, and I want to show you, is that you can come to the very top. You could create a CMA in the system really quick. We talk about that in a CMA workshop class, but I just wanted you to see that you can do it. And when you do create one in here, it does keep it. All right. This is a different look than the other CMAs. It's not very long. It's a 1.5 pager, right? But it doesn't look like IMAP, which is a lot of numbers. So something to consider doing. But you see the share button? So if I was going to do door knocking or I wanted to speak to the person, I could click here to share and email it or send a link about it, right? And I can also come into here and print. So I could print a report, public record full with information, and print it, right? So that's an idea. I don't know if you guys do door knocking or not, but sometimes you want to take some info with you. You could do a print from here. Now, this was one property in a little itty bitty area. All right. Now, that was just home equity, us peaking. Ownership time. I'm a keen believer that you need to know if people set roots in an area. Yes or no? Because if they're setting roots, are you derooting, or are you going to go talk to them about what they can do with the equity they've earned and how they should be investing that equity and how you could guide them? And that might mean homework for you. But if you see someone that's lived there 20 years, right? But they've made this massive amount of equity. He has over $2 million in equity. Maybe you walk and you say hi and you know who they are and you learn and find out about what they can do to invest. And then your route to connecting to them is to say, dude, you're sitting on a mine, a diamond mine. Let's do something with it. But that requires what? Effort on your part. But if someone's sitting there for a long time, is it easy for them to uproot? I mean, they are living in heaven here. It's gorgeous, right? So maybe selling is not the option, but you can find other ways to connect. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Ownership time. It's a key element to understand an area. We have, of course, people that are here new. So you have a mixed, right, area here. So it's not like everybody's saying, so there is movement in an area. Okay. You could see that from there. That's what I take from it. Sell score. These are cool. High means that they're willing to sell or are already on sale in the next 6 months, right? So if I click on high and I start to review here on the side, I see most of them are on the MLS. Some of them are rentals. And this is where patience kicks in. If you want it like right away and you don't want to peak, you're not going to get it. You got to do what? Yeah. So what I always like to show is, okay, well, look at that one. You know, and if there's nothing for us to peek at, these are recent sales that have occurred, right? But sometimes we get one that's off market that's still high. So they're going to be selling in the next 6 months. So let's see. Anything so far that you've learned or you like?
Everything.
Cool. So you'll invite me back? Just teasing. Yes, I am. You just need to nudge me because I have a couple of appointments after, but we'll try to get you to you at least by next week, a link that just for you guys, unlisted link from YouTube, so you could just share internally. So if you say anything we shouldn't say, it's okay. It's just for us. Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna do one more. Let's see. No luck. Alrighty. So I'm gonna do the next one. Medium. What's this? Well, maybe within the next 12 months, they want to sell. So maybe this is my, a little longer term search. Let me see if I find anything. Well, we'll click on one. Now, what is this doing here? What is this doing here? This is capturing consumer data. And I wanted to show that to you because let's look at this one. All right. Closed 111 days. Let's see this one over here. Sale active, currently active. Let's peek at another one. This one's canceled. Let's look at it. Single family residence, the equity is 733, owned 23 years, and they were considering selling. What do I need to do? Approach. Oh, how do I do that? I'm gonna scroll down. Owners and associated people. Do you see in here? I would click. No available for. Do not call and an email. This is not an association, so what would I do? Mailer, knock, talk to them. Take the little report on my business card, right? Start walking up and down the block and get fit and connect. So, you like it?
Yes.
Alrighty,
Yes.
so that here, that's considered the sales score. Alrighty, we'll peek a little more. Absentee owners. Absentee in state versus out of state. Absentee in state means that they live in the state of Florida, which means that you'll probably have a little more access to them. Out of state is anybody outside of Florida and other parts of the world, maybe a little more difficult to reach to. So we're gonna click onto this and we'll click apply. And we have these. Now I wanna show you what you could do with this. Now, I'm not gonna do research. I see some of them are for sale. You guys would not select those. You will come and do the appropriate thing and not contact those, right? 2 that had something. But I have all the other ones selected, 35, right? So these are absentee owners. I need to talk to them about return on investment. All the hassle that it is to be a property owner and rent. And what I want to do with this potential, what you would be able to provide them. So what I do here is I create a little card. And I'm gonna call it 141. Absentee, we'll call it 2. Okay. Enter. And I put those 35 in my folder. One, I can use that to monitor. It would give me notifications on that homepage. If I put Remine as an application on my phone, I would see those notifications as well. But I want to reach out to these people. Do you guys have someone who prints for you guys? Or can they do their own or whatever? So I'm going to come to the cards. I'm going to leave our map a second. I'm going to come to the cards, right? And I have it up here, correct? I select them all and I could export. Okay, create a CSV file, which I could send to the printer if you have a service, right? I could also come and click more and print mailing labels, select the type of label, right? And then choose the property address because I want to talk to the person renting, right? Or the mailing address because I want to talk to whom?
Donor.
So there's 2 possibilities here, right? So you can print the mailing labels accordingly. Click, create your mailing label. Okay, I'm not finished. Alrighty, and I can also click to send mailers where there's a third party that treats you like if you were bulk rating pricing and they print and they send. I'm not gonna go through the whole process, but look at this. You build your campaign. So then you guys have an option. You guys have a mailer. Now I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about sending mailers and what you could do. What you're sending represents who you are as a business. You realize that, right? So if you print on a flappy, flommy thing that doesn't show any value, then you have to them what value? Number 2, you want the thing to make it inside the property, whether it's the property owner that you're gonna talk to return on investment or that renter where you're like, dude, buy already. Let me help you, right? I'm here. Yes or no?
Yes.
Alrighty. So doesn't matter who it is, whatever you're sending needs to represent you. A lot of us have this fascination with those white mailing labels. White mailing labels equate massive amounts of inexpensive mailer because you buy those packs that are like 1,000, I don't know how many. Now, if you would pay just a little more and buy the ones that are clear or opaque, it automatically looks like it's an invitation, and then there's 80% more chance of it doing what? Making inside. The next thing, if you send a size 10 envelope, you know, the ones you get your bills in, that ain't going inside no house. What happens to that? 222. You guys never do the mail pitch before you get inside? I don't want this, I don't want, yes or no?
Yeah.
And those places that insist on sending you bills when you pay everything online. Like I told you to go paperless 80 years ago. Right, so you don't put that inside the house. You send a size 10 envelope, is it getting anywhere? Probably not. You send an invitation or a postcard, and what happens? It has more possibilities. Right? So think about that because this is an investment in you. Okay? Now you can come into here and choose a design, and you can choose absentee owner, right? Or you could just do general farming. You can upload your photo, your logo. We'll just click absentee owner so you guys can see. No, it's going to take a little while. That's all right. So you saw how quickly you could get your labels. You saw how quickly you can find information, right? Well, oh, of course, I was going to complain and it comes up. You can choose what you would like. Okay. Feeling trapped, tired of owning property. I can help you, whatever, or you can upload your own design. You can click to personalize and then go through the steps, add your photo, your logo, your contact details, what you guys are offering, and get them done. Okay. Let's see. You guys are blue here, right?
Yeah. I believe it.
Okay, we'll just select that. Refresh. I just want you to see that it's a little easy to do. You could change the colors more if you want. Next. And you can put in your contact details, your website, your photo. This doesn't look like a house from here, correct? So you would choose your image, change the other one, change the other, click next, put in your image, your logo for your company. Let's see what I have up here to put it. Make that my logo. Right? Refresh, and this is how easy it is to go ahead and do what you need to do. Alrighty. You put the street address, any disclosure, right? What I like is that it says something that I'm not trying to call. If you're currently working with a realtor, congratulations, I'm not trying to contact you. There's a disclosure like that. You're here, you go next, you prepare your payment method, right? Say, I want to add an address. So you want to add an address so that you see what goes out. You could put the address here, click next, hang tight because it verifies that the addresses are something that can be mailed to. So it doesn't charge you, even though the address is not somewhere that it can go. It verifies first. This is something I like because there's more possibilities that what you're sending is going to get there. Taking too long. I have no patience. Do you guys have that? Any questions for me so far?
It's so much fun to play with it because
I'm the type of person I need to stick my finger in it. I have to
play with it.
and when I'm really excited, I type hard. I feel sorry for the typewriter. Campaign summary.
How do you put,
I'm gonna go ahead and-
that it goes to. You can put them, it was before the stage, the step right before this one, right?
What was it?
The address is where it's gonna go.
You choose, well, if you're gonna do the prospecting, with regarding absentee ownership, you would send it to the property owner. I just wanted you to see that in the selection process, you can select if you do the mailing address or if you do the property address. property address would be to address the renter. And the mailing address in this case, because we're doing absentee owner, would be where the owner lives. So that's the one that you would say, it's about time to get your return on investment. Look how much your property has earned. Let me help you estimate the earn. So it depends who you're mailing to. So the mailing address in this instance, since the owners are not there, is for someone who's renting that you want to push to buy. Right? So I'm going to come back into Remine. Just wanted you to see that you could do it, right? And you can keep this cart here. In Remine, you have access to keeping inside the cards 10,000 properties. 10,000 properties that you would get notifications from. If you finish something like this and you're ready to go, I no longer need something, you can always come to the very top and delete it. So I did it. I got my labels. I don't need to keep this going here because I want to continue to work. You could come here and do delete. All right. So you don't have to keep these ongoing. Does that make sense? Because you only have the 10K. Now 10K is a lot to store, but I wanted you to know that you can come to the top where you named it and delete it. Okay. Let's come back to the search and let's delve a little more. Flood risk, of course. Let me remove the absentees in this area, right? Of course, there's flood risk. I mean, that goes without question, right? Building type. This is something I like. I'm gonna live here. What type of building is this? And you can see by the color coding. Let me move it a little bit to see if we can get some additional stuff. Building type. Okay, type of properties that there are in an area. Just by looking, you can see if there's townhouses, condos, single family, etc. Land use. This is what the land use is meant for. So this is something that's public, right? You have here land, commercial. So just by looking on here, you know, what is this also good for? I'm about to buy a property and I don't know what that over there is. This will tell you what the land is coded to be used for. So am I gonna have a huge, strip mall right on my backyard? Or is that a park or a future park? And this would tell you what it's in use for. All righty. Mortgage age. Sorry, that was rate. Mortgage rate. Okay. Is this helpful?
Yes.
It is. You could use this in many ways to know if their rate is current or how it was, or how long they were, or what they would be able to do. And here, mortgage age. Now, last sale price. Your eyes are shining. Are you like itching to go play? Because you can't. The distress deals, I don't know that there's many of them occurring right now, but you can choose, right? And then click apply and see if there's anything that's distressed in the area, and there's one.
Just the distress option box one more time, because this has come up in requests from the agents in the last week.
Oh,
So
there's list pendants, notice of default, foreclosure sale, and trustee sale. By the way, the association will provide classes, even if they're paid, if you request them. There was a class in January in English and Spanish on foreclosure and short sale. There was another one that just occurred. But if you need another one to happen, you write to them at registration@miamire.com, and they will, because the process needs to be explained. Does that make sense? Like, I'm no expert in that process. But if you understand the process and then you're going to go deal with someone who's maybe in list pendants or in process would like to do a short sale, it behooves them to do what? Do the short sale and get some money back, or you guys help them with that. But you need to understand the process yourself. So if you're ever interested, there are people that do come in and you can request that. Okay.
Requests from out of state, out of area folks are like, oh, we're interested in pre-foreclosures and age, but where do I even start to look for that, right? So the list pendants, this option is a great starting point.
IMAP also is a great tool because this gives you a view. I love it too, but some of you will historically still like IMAP because you can do a comparable on a property. Click, click. I just want you to know that there's ways to learn, but yeah, list pendants, notice of default, notice of foreclosure, notice of trustee sale. You would select them and you look, and there was only one, but and it's this property here. It's off market, right? But they may not know, right? When you're in an issue of distress, right? They have 293K in equity, 3-bed, 2-bath. They may not know that they have a possibility.
Those are house.
Not only to save the house, They may be, what may have led them to this is a whole other series of issues that don't let them see the light, and you could be provider of the light. I always remind you that they are also prickly. You guys know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
I don't
might
want
have
you-
had a household recently
Yeah,
passed away,
they
was
might not be
unaware.
the most receptive to info because they're getting it from so many places. So when you provide them detail, you have to know that you gotta go with tender loving care and reassurance. Like, this is not someone that you attack because they're already on defense mode. So I always like to remind you of that because you don't know what's on the other side, but you could really help. Okay? By the way, you could help them sell and find another resource. You help someone in a situation that's uncomfortable, that is the best spokesperson for you ever.
Mhm.
Okay, so just to let you know. All right. Do you like this product?
Love it.
No, do you like it? Do you guys use it here? Not
So
just,
Julie uses it a lot. I not so much, and definitely to make sure our agencies are using it a heck of a lot more.
okay, so what it is to show you that the initial sale was done in cash.
Mm.
I want you to know that South Florida is like this. Most places you look, there was an initial, and then they could take mortgages or, loans or whatever. But these are transactions that were initially occurred in cash. It's always interesting to see, right? Because when you're from here, you live here, anybody live here for the last 10, 15 years?
All my life, yeah.
Okay, when you're from here, we complain, the prices are horrible, whatever. You look at any other metropolitan areas around the world, not just in the US, and our pricing is still not where they're at. So we locally complain, but people come from other places to do what?
Yeah, it does.
And one of the things that you look at is this, you can see it, it's occurred. All righty. I'm from here, so of course, the first thing is, oh, prices have gone so high. The locals are, then you start, and then you look at this and you go, maybe I shouldn't make a
It's
mistake.
what to look at helping a buyer structure an offer, and they don't know, should I offer over ask, where should I come in at, can I come in aggressive with my friend? Look, the entire area is selling for cash with investors.
No,
This
and
is a place to get it in.
another thing for you to do here is, especially when you have that, is the valuation of a property. You could do this, you could just put property value, move your map to where you need it to be, correct? And now it won't do it. Property value, you have to be closer in, so when you have the blue buttons, property value, and hello, shit's coming for. You said it. These are the colors. No, you're not buying for 250. A single family home. But you can't say that, right? Right? But you can send this along with a report I showed you from before from Matrix and go,
Here's the average price, here's the neighborhood. a lot of
and
people
then,
like
no,
that.
I want to buy at 250. My cousin bought at 250 pre-pandemic. You just said it. She bought at 250 pre-pandemic, right? That was now 3-4 years ago, correct? So, I mean, most places that you look at market-wise, they've gone 50% up since before the pandemic. So she said it in the last statement, but you need to show them. And this would be a fantastic way to do it without you having to struggle. Alrighty? Or say much more. I think a picture is 1,000 words, correct? So you've got it all under control. Alrighty. What else can I show you? Let me see. The property value. You can use this in combination, right? So I'm seeking in this range and I apply it. And I want to see home equity that's above 750K. And then you would have the properties on the side to see if there's any available for you to be able to contact or to talk to. So you can use several filters at once, right? So this is a lease. So if this is a lease and it's active, I want to put that in a card for future review. Because that person I may want to contact to see what the renters to see if they want to buy, and the property owner to say, hey, do you want to get your return on investment? So you can navigate here and get a lot of information. Let's look. There's a couple of expired sales here that I would attack, yes or no. So let's look at this one. Single family, 9.5 years. Those you see the owners' names, days on market. Right? Expired, but expired when? I will go do some research on that. Alrighty. And then you have owner information here. There's a couple numbers there. That 954 is not do not call. I would use it, right?
And we have names that go on LinkedIn, social, Sunbiz, these people own companies, they're in the fashion business, concrete business.
So even if they bought it with a corporation, the LLC, it will show their real names?
No.
It will show
They,
LLC?
what it tends to show is when you purchase your cell phone, unless you bought the cell phone through the corporation, usually you buy for you, so it'll tell you if they have a cell phone associated to them. What this product does is take consumer data, your research and studies that you open, like, do you guys use your cell phones to research?
Mhm.
What to eat near me? You guys don't do that?
Mhm.
How do you think places know that you want to go on vacation? Have you ever, had the cell phone here and go, I can't wait to go to Greece. I do it to my husband's phone all the time. And he goes, look at this thing that just popped up. And I'm like, ay, qué lindo, yeah, we need to go there. You don't do that? Ladies? Oh, I'm sorry, gentlemen. So what do you do here? You talk about it and it comes to life. Well, do you think that that's not gathered by someone? It does. It gathers information. That's how it knows if there's an interest in sale. It of course has all the tax data. So what it does is put it in a format that for you is easy to read. It's great to come to a property, open it up, see it if there's an image available, and for it to automatically tell you how many years the owner has been there, what's the estimated equity, because then you go completely prepared with research already done from one place. And that's what I want. I'll show you. You could do a print here, agent full. The agent full is for whom? So if for the customer, you would do a client full, right? But for you, for research, you may want to peek here and print. And maybe you're visual and you need to come back. Well, you may want to attack everything on a block and have a couple of these already set. An error occurred. That's my internet connection, right? But if you're going to do those door knocking, you will come and would you do like 100 houses? No, you're going to die. The heat's back, right? So you will come in here. This is what I like to talk about. Let me go and remove everything from here. Let's go hyper local. I'm gonna go today and I want to cover this area here, right? So I could come into the area and do a polygon into here, right? And say, I really want to isolate. I'm gonna do everything I possibly can in this area this week. Are there a lot of marketing dollars? There may not be, but I can isolate an area and decide to market these 2 weeks. And then I already know I did this area. So the next 2 weeks of March, I just go the next bunch. And when you isolate it, when you do this hyper locally, it's easier for you to have 20, 30, 40 bucks to do one. Work the area than trying to get $1,000 in to do something. So if you're getting started or you're working on your marketing budget, I like this because it brings it down to a level that you can control. But that's me. I don't know how you guys work. So you could isolate an area. Now, who needs to remember what it is? You need to remember that this was from here to here, right? So you write it down on a notepad, or if you're super electronic, you take your computer and go, I did this here. What am I going to do here? I want all the properties that have a home equity of over $700,000. I apply it, and that leaves me with 52 results that I can start viewing. A couple of these are for sale. I already know because the data is integrated to the MLS. But this one expired. That's the one that we had looked at. Here's another one for $925,000. So what do I start doing? I start clicking, selecting here the ones I want to keep, and then I create a cart for the area. Not only do I do that, now I have them in an area, I call it, right, the area. Is it Normandy Isle from Rue, whatever, to, so I isolate my information, right, from here. This one closed, I want to monitor it, it doesn't matter. This one expired, and I create a little card for it. So what it does is it gives me something huge and brings it to a chunk that I want to work on. And now for each one of these properties, right, that I may be interested in working on, I can click in it, get the information, do a printout. And when I'm going to do my door knocking, I can do 3 or 4 blocks, right? But I'm not going to do 20 blocks in an area. So you can isolate something and prepare yourself. Also, if you do the research right and you knock and you're able to present to this person, you already know what's going on in the neighborhood because you've been looking at it here. What would you do with this? if this is the area I'm looking at, that same report I showed you in Matrix, the cross property quick, I will go to the map and mark that area and see what type of activity has happened. For how long? Remember, it's just a couple of blocks. I would do 3 to 4 years because they're going to talk to me about pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, and I need to know everything that's happened. And my greatest resource is the MLS, and the report was easy to swallow, yes or no? I'm going to do one report and I can talk to all those people, right? So I would do my research here, I would do my printout, and then go in the MLS and go into that same little area and do what? Right? Work at it. So I hope that you got something from here. Can I show you guys?
In the neighborhood, start playing basketball like they in the court, on the basketball.
Now, watch this. How many of you are ready to go door knocking and you don't know what to give the people?
Me.
I'm going to leave Remine for a second. Is that okay?
Yes,
You guys are all good with that?
yeah.
Watch. I'm going to come into here. Agent 3000. Do you guys have a seller guide? Do you guys have a buyer guide? Do you guys have a seller? You have, but here at Julie's, do they have one? Because I want Frank to see this.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have a seller guide that's branded to them?
We have a template that needs some revisions, but if they have.
Do you want one for free?
Yeah.
Okay. I should have said that first.
I heard, you want me to be your homework for you? I was like, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, now you're back.
Free template tag.
All right. Well, okay, I have to go.
No.
I gotta keep you on your toes. You left me.
There. I was looking at the back of your head.
You see that? Okay, so Agent 3000 is a product where 85% of it is for free. The reason I'm telling you about that is because if you liked what you could do with Remine, how you can isolate an area and get some details and you're ready to do door knocking, or you gotta present to this person that's potentially gonna sell and you need to have something quick to give them. This isn't a PDF. You can send PDF through WhatsApp. So you send it to your best friend or you create your own PDF in WhatsApp and you have this readily available in your WhatsApp. So when you're with them, you go, do you use WhatsApp? Right? And if not, you email it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be branded to you and you can use it for every door that you knock where you get a phone number or you get an email. Right? I just wanted you to see. Okay? You can get a QR code here for free too. All right? But when you want the steps, now this is what I'm currently teaching a class where we tell you market stats for your listing presentation. And that matrix report that I showed you, I use it. You guys know that you need to do a CMA, you know you need your listing agreement, but you need to be proactive at getting ready and how to approach this customer or opening the door. So you have these branded ebooks. You can never use it again. This is another third-party item. What would you do? Click the green on the very top and make it yours. All of your contact details, your logo, your photo, right? You put it in and you save it. So Agent 3000, green button, gear button on the top, make it yours. Why? So then your picture appears. Remember I talked to you about having a bio?
Languages that you speak.
So I'm going to show you a short little bio. Okay. I'm back into Agent 3000. You paste it in. You need to have your bio in a place that you can cut and paste. Doesn't need to be a love story. I'm not your lover. I'm going to be your customer. It needs to be short and sweet. It needs to say why you want to work with me, the area I cover, and why you want to sell South Florida. What is it that you like about South Florida? Why are you in real estate? So you and I were born and raised here. Everybody else was from where?
80.
New York.
Egypt.
Okay, so I always say, so what are you doing here? I'm serious. Write it down. Don't tell me the weather. It's hot outside already. Why are you here? I'm gonna pick on you.
Don't.
Yeah, because you smile. ¿Por qué estás aquí? Why are you here? Opportunity. Write it down. Family. I like it.
Money.
Write down. And you want them to make money, they're gonna sell a house, write that down. Write down, what are you telling me? So when you write your bio, that's what you would put. Yes or no?
Yes.
So what I was telling, because you and I were born and raised here, so it's like you've chosen, you like it, you already have a root. For us, it's different. It is. And there's not that many of us, by the way. We're the minority. Yeah. So, but for everybody else, I just go, so why are you here? You were very clear. There's a lot of you didn't say anything. You have to answer that first, put it into here. You put it in your bio. You got a seller guide, you got a seller hack, a buyer guide, and a first-time home buyer's guide. You got to put your photo on that green button. And then you click these two and you do what? Create a book. You got to be patient. While this is thinking, I want to share with you my phone number. I'm a firm believer in text message. If you get to any of this and you don't remember, you send me a picture and I'll go, it's here, click over there. But sometimes you forget. 305-898. Oh no, you gotta be quick. 8918. I'll do a QR code in a minute. Yeah, I'll do it in a minute. And then I'll show you guys how you can make your own. Today is the 3rd. Here is my book. Number 1, how many of you use social media? So look at the cover that you can create to put onto social media. You post it and you go, would you like to see the rest of it? Are you interested in selling? DM me. Qué lindo. You won my vote. You won my vote. Qué lindo. That was a good one to remember. That was just that. You have a website. Here's an embed code for the flip book. You can add. And then here's the book that you've just created.
Homework for the week.
Not mine, yours, but let me know.
Gotcha.
Experience. When you list your home with me and then what you're going to provide, branding, content, discussing your needs, market conditions, organization and maintenance, lockbox and signing, photo and video, open house. I mean, to me, this is like, I can make a slide with this one. Right? A home inspection.
We're finding a lot of the agents are like, oh, I want to record something social, I don't know what to talk about, right? So you have an ebook that has 14 different topics. Those 14 topics could be every 3 or 4 days, we'll do a 5-10 second video. And hey, by the way, the rest of these topics are in my ebook. You know, drop me that DM something forward to you, right? And here you have a month's worth of recording content
And
with
you
some actual material to back it up.
Okay. So one of the first things that I loved about the book, because I read it, this is talking to a seller. Where do you want to move? Because I don't just want to be a part of this transaction. I want to be a part of the next one and the next 20. Why are you moving? How long do you have to sell your home and what's your budget? Clear, granular, but very nicely put, right? Your info, discussing the home, the exteriors, the interiors, and what may need to happen. Let me tell you, sometimes you're in a home. Any of you a homeowner or you live in a place for more than a year or two? You don't come in and there's like a scratch on the wall that you ignore? No? Yeah. When you live at a place, there's always a little scratch or something that you're like, oh, it's tired. But when you're going to sell, can you do that? So everything that you don't do in your own house happens right before you sell. And this is the list. Adding a coat of fresh paint can sometimes be a pain, but when you do it, you just renovated everything. Yeah. It's like when you deep clean. No one wants to deep clean, but you do it and it's just like you can smell it. Yeah. And then you don't want to even cook. I don't want to stink. Yes or no? So think about it. Market conditions and the comparable. You'll create the CMA, right? Organization and maintenance. So, okay, we're going to sell. And we're going to do key dates. We're going to have people to come in. And you tell me that it's Wednesday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning. So on Tuesday, I'm going to text you and remind you, hey, on Wednesday night, I'm coming. Please make sure that it's what? lockbox and sign. You gotta tell them what you're gonna do, why you're gonna do it, and why it's important, and why the lockbox keeps them safe. Photos and videos, a must, right? Open houses, why we're gonna do them, how they're gonna be effective, and what we need to do to get it done. The benefits of proper pricing. When you're in a listing presentation, don't tell me you don't get a little anxious. Of course you do. So what you do is you have a mint gum, so that lowers your what? Your nerve here. You do a spearmint or a mint gum will stop that sensation. You know how you get a little, oh my gosh, I got it here before coming to the office. I called them from the corner to say, I can't find you. Right? It's part of being human, no? You put a mint gum in, you smell good, and you're ready to go.
Nice.
Inconvenience, increased sales response, exposure to more, better response, higher offers, more money. Hello.
This class too. So take your time. I'll be right back.
Oh my goodness. Drawbacks of overpricing. Okay, what I like is that it's very direct and it tells them what's happening. Home inspection and appraisal process, right? About you and your contact info. I'm gonna give you some statistics. The association has 60,000 plus members. 10% come to class, 2% use what's available. So if you think other people are using it,
60,000 members, 2%.
10% come to class, 2% use the products available. If you don't come to matrix class or you don't invite me, I don't teach that cross property quick to anybody. You gotta come to class.
We get a stat that it's 8.5% of the agents in our marketplace are doing 90% of the business. I don't know how accurate that one is, but
I think it's true. Because a lot of people, this is a license that's, I'm not trying to say that you didn't put in your effort, but it's easily attained. And then they shelf it. It has a pretty shelf life. Some other people use it as a membership. There's events, there's stuff to do. They go to all the events and they go to all the stuff and then they're not producing.
yeah.
Don't you pay? You've never paid a gym membership? Gone the first month and then and you're paying. Same thing. I always see it. And we used to call them because we would have a lot of events and I will go to them. The country clubbers. They come to everything in Dade and Broward and Kendall on the beach. And you're like, let's just with them in Kendall. You're doing an event in Fort Lauderdale and they will go too. You're like, I'm complaining because I have to drive all this way. You just came. I know you live in Kendall. And then, you know, you smile. I think it's great. It is good for networking, but still, it's a lot. So you got your seller guide. The next thing that you have is a seller hack, which is ideas. And then I like to show this to you guys. So there's infographics and there's a whole bunch here, but you have a year-over-year market snapshot video, which, by the way, if you use as a reel, you can put it in between, say something, put the video, say something at the end. It's branded to you. So I'm going to do it here, 33141, right? We'll choose condo and then look, blue and gray, right? And you can pick from audio if you like. It's not very clear. I always like to choose. Or actually select this option and then you create it. Don't do like the instructor to go crazy and click. The more you click, you truncate it, you're never gonna get it. You gotta be patient. Okay. It'll show up here. What I like about the video, your branding comes out first, the statistical detail comes out, your info comes out again. And what I suggested, you take a video of yourself, you say something, you let the video come up, and then you talk to them again. And you can do that on Instagram. Okay, let's give it a second to create. You like?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think I've walked you through the process of you having stuff to present. I didn't just want to come and say Remine. I wanted you to prepare first, see if an area was worth it, and then you can come into Remine and get your what you need and what's worth. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll wait for the video and then I'm open to questions.
And we got some snacks. We got some amazing breakfast bagel sandwiches from Hash House. So.
Nice. I hope you're happy. I hope that I get to come again.
Yeah, Connie, that was amazing
As I
information.
said, I really appreciate the offer. I know you guys are very committed to a lot of work in the marketplace, so we're definitely gonna wait for you to get you back here as soon as you're available.
We'll probably do it next quarter. And it was cute because we're right in a quarter.
Right? Told you. I had a couple, she reached out to say, hey, I know it's gonna be a great training. She lives in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
You worth the drive.
Well, it's right
Way
here.
better in person.
Do we wanna go? Now you say that when you left me. We're being girly, sorry. I want you to see the video. Let's see if it'll show up. Let me make sure that, because we still have a couple people on there. I just clicked. Okay. I mean, you could just post this. It's in your appropriate colors. You could change the color, but
The information was useful. If you wanted a more detailed breakdown, contact.
before we break, thank you for inviting me. Number two, yes, we have a heavy schedule, but we're very happy to be here. But number three, I want to give you a little tip. If you're set to renew in the coming months, right? Some of you may be renewing, you're not. I highly suggest that you renew early and take advantage of the education credits. They do have a lineup of certifications and designations that you can earn. If you pay early, you get the education credits. If you haven't done your 14-hour, you can use it for that. If you haven't done your post-license 45 hours, you could use it for that. Or you can earn an ePro, the PSA or something else, and you start adding those letters behind your name, which also helps you develop. You always learn something. Like, I'm sure you came for one thing and there was a lot of things that were shared. You always get something from a class. And then I don't want to leave without talking a little bit about Matrix and showing you again. It was search, cross property quick. And that's what we ended up doing. And we did a report that I showed you how you could leverage it on your presentations and just have as a key element. By the way, you could also use this if you're going to go hang out somewhere and you have the address and you don't know anything about the area. You could use information like this to do what? Oh, the average list price is this, yeah. So use all of this to your advantage and always prepare and get ready to go. Thank you so much. I hope it was worth it.
Thank you.
Oh,
class.
you have a minute? You want to see what I did for that person that called me about the flip?
Mhm.
Oh, well, by Zoom. No, I'm just kidding. All right, when are you? Active, right? Closed. Okay. And he wanted like Broward. And I was like, you're crazy. I can't give you all that in one page. So I'll show you what we could do here. I don't know here so much. Let's see. What area could we go into?
Little River?
We could do Little River.
Yeah.
So navigate with me, because isn't Little River here?
It's behind Mansions. And west of Mansions.
So here.
Yeah.
So we'll just do a little segment here. I don't see a lot of single family, but because that's what I selected, but it's okay. Yeah, there is. All right. So what I did was come to results, and there were 76, and I just did it by address. Right? Oh, wait, and criteria. 365 or 720, so it's 2 years, right? And we have 333 results, and you could do it by address, right? And then you start to see this is an active and a closed. Let's start to see if there's anything. Now, and he didn't like this, that I was making him look, right? But I'm telling him, like, you want the info, you have to bear. Now, I'm not, is there one?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Look, 379, 191, right? So you could then select these, okay? But let's see if there's another one.
The 2301.
2301 no first time said right there.
Here,
Yeah.
here you go.
And then 2105.
That one's currently active. So
Oh, but, yeah.
you could do this now if you wanted to do it in a bigger segment. So if someone asks you, are flips happening?
They are.
So you will come into here, right? And you will click refine, narrow, just keep those.
Sensitive that second to last one you guys clicked, or actually what's showing you in the middle, it was listed for 130, right? It sold for 209. Just be careful also where you're playing that range is.
Okay, but I also want you to see here, right? I've selected them. So now that I have them, I can come to actions and I can print, right? And I can do a comparison. Or I can do into here a client full with listing photos. Right, so I can show them how it was received and what they did, right? And print a PDF. Do you like this?
I have a meeting with a client in 2 hours. I'm gonna do this right now.
So you're leaving me after all I've given? What I want you to start to feel is, this is the way to use the data to your advantage. And do not fear matrix. You cannot break it. The other classes you guys take, it's always like, no, don't, no. I always feel like when you come to our tech training classes, they've smacked you so much around of what you can't do. There's like, oh, I can touch that. Yeah, it's a program. We have to stop all of that and explain it's a program. So look, you would get this property and the photos. And then the property again. Oh, look how they purchased it. They didn't even want to show it. Property.
Perfect.
And then property. No photo. Property.
But I have a question.
Mhm.
It's not regarding just the thing before, in the video, the market update.
The market update
Is
from,
it more recent than the Sunstats? Because Sunstat shows you like 2 months prior, right?
Right.
so when you do this here, it's year over year. So it's comparing
so February.
current to last. So it gives you,
Okay. So which month did it show?
Look.
February, okay.
yeah, always, we're,
That was, yeah. so
it's
February.
always at least a month and a half in arrears, because statistics, here's what happens, and I'll place blame on the realtor. The end of month comes and they don't close stuff out. So they have additional chunk of time to be able to close, right? And then the statistics, there's a cutoff. I don't know if it's 7 days or 7 business days. So statistically, they cut off there. I just don't understand why people don't close. Like, you should be so happy to close. So they don't close. So they give them these additional days. So then it's the 15th of the next month and they're just starting to pull the stats. And you want them to do that because of the people that struggle and don't close. And then they complain that their listings aren't showing in the statistics, and it's because you didn't close by the end of the month. So you see it again here, just to show you. It's year over year. So February 23 to 22. Yeah. All right, anybody else? Thank you so much. Can I take a picture? Wait, I want to take a picture. Just take it. However you like.
1, 2. Hang tight. 1 more.
You can tell he take listing photos.
1. Also.
You know why? You should always do that 6 foot, 6'2" in the corner, so you get perspective on the property.
Connie, yeah, on behalf of not just the team here, but those who are on Zoom today, thank you so very much for taking the time.
All right.
Yeah,
I know
thank
it.
you very much.
Thank you guys on Zoom. I'm gonna let you go. Have a great weekend. Sell it all.